Hello everybody and welcome to episode 15 of Screamers. I'm Honor and I'm here in the studio with Jessie, or as TikTok has now named us, Jamie Carragher and Rio Ferdinand.
We need to fight it out to see which one's which because no one wants to be Rio in that situation.
We're missing Maya today, but we'll hear from her later on in the episode in our very special interview with Sara Harrak, writer and director of the short film Souls United. Shall we get started then, Jessie?
Let's do it. It was the first leg of the semi-finals for the Women's Champions League this weekend. Arsenal kicked off proceedings against Lyon, but I think we should probably start with Barcelona versus Chelsea. Hands up, we got it wrong. We got it so wrong, as the thousands upon thousands of Barcelona fans on TikTok have delighted in reminding and telling us.
Literally thousands.
We've acquired so many new followers overnight. It's quite funny. But yeah, Chelsea got demolished. I think absolutely torn apart is probably quite fair to say. 4-1 in the end. It felt like they had just completely frozen and forgotten how to play football.
It was crazy.
It's been a long time since I've seen Chelsea play that badly.
Yeah, I think the reason we underestimated Barcelona is that we always think of them as dominant in their league, really obviously an amazing team, but then we have this vision of Chelsea as well as being dominant
in the league. Yeah. We've kind of let that get away from us, really, haven't we? It felt like everyone was, including us, was praising the idea that Bonpastor would have the tactics to figure out Barcelona. Obviously, when she was managing Lyon, they played against Barcelona quite a lot. But it felt like the first half, Chelsea didn't know what their game plan was. They didn't know whether they were going to sit back. They didn't know whether they were going to attack. They didn't know. And it's just like opening up all of these spaces. Barcelona could have put that game to bed in the first half.
Yeah, I think tactically Bonpastor got it really wrong.
Yeah.
Also, the players lost their heads and couldn't deal with Barcelona.
Absolutely lost their heads.
They had a gift from the gods straight away, which was Hannah Hampton's penalty save of Alexia Putellas's penalty. And that sort of, you think, okay, Chelsea, can you build on that? You've had a gift from the gods. And it was like, no, that made them mad. It awakened the beasts.
I saw a very funny tweet. It was like, maybe they should have just in hindsight let Putellas score that penalty. She might not have been so desperate to undo the damage. Barcelona just ran riot through that, especially that Chelsea midfield. They just couldn't keep the ball.
No, I mean, Kira Walsh just looked like quite pathetic, really.
I mean, she ghosted, didn't she? Absolutely. Barcelona must have been watching that thinking, oh, we sold her at the right time.
Yeah, I did laugh actually in Alexia Putellas' Instagram post after the game. She had like a carousel of pictures and both of them had Kira Walsh and Lucy Bronze in.
God, there's no love lost there, is there?
Oh no, I don't think so.
It really felt like, we said before, didn't we, as part of our misguided prediction that Barcelona don't feel like the unstoppable force that they have done, even though they're so great. And it still felt there were points in this game that they could have gone for the jugular and they really didn't. I think Barcelona that's 100% hitting every single note is walking away with at least 7 goals in that game, because especially the last 10, 15 minutes, Chelsea just forgot how to defend. They couldn't pass. They couldn't track their runners. The whole game through, they couldn't track their runners.
It was like, at that point in the game, they all just looked so tired. Like Millie Bright looked like walking dead.
Yeah.
Obviously, we had Naomi Girma come on, which was, for me, a complete surprise. I was like, this is a crazy decision. But apparently
got thrown to the wolves somewhat, didn't she?
Apparently, Nat Bjorn was injured, but I still was like, no. She's played for Chelsea like once.
Yeah.
She's hardly back from months-long injury.
And got put on right before a set piece as well, which you never make a defensive substitution before a defensive set piece. That's like 101 of management. There was just not a single moment where it ever felt like Chelsea were going to get control of that match.
No, they had no shots in the first half.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not surprised. Somehow it feels like they almost had negative shots. I know that's not a thing, but like if you could have negative stats, I think that's what Chelsea would have come out with in that first half. Oh my God,
yeah. And all Barcelona's 4 goals were pretty good as well. I mean, Pina, that's why I have her in my fantasy Euros 11.
It's proven to be a very good pick, as is Payot.
Yeah, and Payot, so solid. And then that Paredes goal from the corner.
Yes.
That header, it's like nobody from Chelsea was even on her.
No.
And she just had all the freedom to run around the back and absolutely smash it.
I think Lucy Bronze was supposed to be on her, completely lost her. But you think the height of, I think Ramirez was still on the pitch at that point. Lucy Bronze, Millie Bright. How, between the three of you and all the other imposing players on the team, letting an unmarked header at your back post?
I know, you think that would be the one thing that Chelsea could actually control, like aerial balls.
It felt like they, what was it you said earlier in the group chat? It was like they set out to embarrass us specifically.
Specifically us.
Specifically us. We bigged them up. We said nice things about Chelsea, which is very rare on this podcast, or so we're told. And then they go and do that. I can't really see where they go from here. Barcelona can turn it on. They've got a team full of individual brilliance. The gulf between them just looks...
The subs, usually we say how stacked Chelsea's bench is.
Yeah.
But it just kind of felt like every substitution she made
was
them
like...
worse. Yeah, made them worse. And then Barcelona bringing on Pina, they're bringing on Vicky Lopez. Like,
bloody hell. It's quite weird in that I feel like going into the semi-finals, you would say on paper maybe Arsenal were the weakest of the teams, and yet the gulf between them and Lyon didn't look anywhere near as big as the gulf between Chelsea and Barcelona.
Despite the result being 2-1 to Lyon, they were very much like Arsenal had plenty of chances.
Yep.
They managed to keep control at certain points. Obviously the 2 goals, maybe they were taken a little bit surprised by the pace of the Lyon attack, but it still feels like even with this goal deficit, they definitely have a chance to turn it around next week.
They're going to rue the missed chances, especially Marnham. It felt like Marnham probably could have scored about 3 or 4 goals herself. That really surprised me because I think under René Slegers, Arsenal have gotten more clinical. Like they've smacked so many goals in all season. So it was quite weird to see them fluffing like quite a few unmarked headers. Really didn't take advantage of the fact that Wendy Renard was not playing, which was the big surprise, I think.
Yeah, I think they definitely had more chance they could have converted. That Ford Russo chance where like all the Lyon players are behind the ball.
Yeah.
Oh my God, there were so many chances like this.
Yeah. Yeah, and then it just took a moment of Dumornay brilliance to snatch it.
Yeah, Dumornay and Diani, terrifying in attack.
It shows how good they are that like Chewinga almost doesn't get mentioned, like,
which is crazy.
Which is incredible. Like Tabitha Chewinga is such a threat. I thought it was quite funny. So obviously Joe Montemurro, is that his first time back? I think since leaving.
It must be
Arsenal. And I looked it up. Can you guess how many people who ended up on the pitch in the semi-final were on the pitch during his last game managing Arsenal?
Oh, I'm going to go Beth Mead, Kim Little. Oh God, I don't even know.
There were, to give you a clue, 9 people.
9
from his final
on
Arsenal
the pitch.
Game, both starting and subs, appeared in the match. For Joe Montemurro's final Arsenal game, which I think was an FA Cup game against Crystal Palace, starting was Manu Zinsberger, Steph Catley, Caitlin Ford, Kim Little, Beth Mead, Leah Walty, and then Danielle van der Donk is obviously there for Lyon. And then Leah Williamson and Katie McCabe both got subbed on. He must have come back and thought, bloody hell, you've really not changed much, have you?
Honestly, like deja vu.
Yeah. But I think you're right. The 1 goal deficit doesn't feel... You'd obviously rather be chasing that home rather than away. But I feel like the game is not lost.
No, definitely not. And I actually think as well, obviously Lyon are a massive team. But I think their support compared to like 40,000 at the Emirates, it's not going to be as intimidating.
Yeah.
I think Arsenal could turn around and do it at their gaff.
Yeah. I think they need to not come out slowly. They need to be prepared for the pace. But
yeah, let's see like the second half against Real Madrid, second leg. We want that immediately.
Yeah. Ben, who do you think's going to make it to the final?
I'm going to back Arsenal just because I'd like to have an English team in the final.
Yep.
I think obviously Arsenal and Lyon are 2 great teams. They're pretty evenly matched. Chelsea, I just don't see a way through.
Who knows? Maybe the famous Stamford Bridge Chelsea women's atmosphere will see them over the line.
If that happens, you will find me personally replying to every Barcelona fan that's commented on our TikToks.
But we also had a bunch of WSL action this week. Actually, Arsenal were involved. Chelsea got a lovely week off, which
Barcelona were not happy about.
Yeah. But Arsenal were involved at the start of the week against Leicester, a lovely little rescheduled midweek fixture at the Emirates, which ended 5-1 Arsenal in a scoreline that suggests it should have been an exciting match. I'll be honest, it was quite boring.
I was watching it on TV and I have to say I switched over at the end.
It was not... I mean, it was good for the confidence, I guess, going in. Into the weekend. Arsenal did become quite ruthless, but I don't think they would have learnt necessarily anything against Leicester.
No. No. It was so easy to play through Leicester.
Yeah.
Arsenal were completely dominant.
They didn't offer much.
Yeah. If Stina Blackstenius is scoring tap-ins, then, it's not great defending.
Oh, man, she did come on, though, and then immediately was offside twice. And it's like, oh, my God.
I thought it was a really good link-up play from Arsenal, and Kim Little as well. Really impressed me with that assist for the Beth Mead header.
She's single-handedly silencing the haters,
silencing the haters. Maya.
yeah. Maya's suspiciously absent for this record.
And your fave, Yuka Momiki, got a really good goal as well. So consolation goal for Leicester. Not that it means much.
There was 2 matches on Saturday, including the further development of the fortress that is West Ham.
The fortress. West Ham's home form since January has been unreal. This is 5 home games in a row unbeaten in the league.
And like the teams that you've taken points off.
Man City, Chelsea, Man United.
Incredible. Like what?
Can't complain.
Rhiannon Skinner has figured it out, hasn't she?
Rhiannon Skinner, man. Rhiannon Skinner, I'm so sorry. I disrespected you so much. It turned out all you needed was a couple of good players. I think Kinga Shemek, West Ham keeper, is severely underrated. She made such good saves this game. And not like some other WSL goalkeepers who kind of parry it out back into danger. She was
punching it straight at an attacker.
Actually able to stop shots and hold on to the ball, which we don't see that often. Really, really good.
Some of her reaction saves when balls were being shot coming through a crowd, I thought was just a really, really good goalkeeping.
Yeah, this is exciting for West Ham, sitting 7th, 2 points off Brighton in 6th, and their final 3 fixtures are Palace, Villa and Leicester. So these could be kind of trip hazards, but also you would hope they can get a few points from those games. And that's probably United's Champions League hope sealed now. It doesn't look like City can catch them.
It doesn't look like City can catch them after their match against Everton yesterday. A draw ended 1-1. I think now it means that United need just 3 points from their final 3 games and they've got Champions League locked down, which you would assume with the way United have been playing this season.
Yeah.
And City, it's been a tough old year, hasn't it?
It's been painful.
Yeah. That's now 4 points that Everton have taken from City this season. Brian Sorensen, again, I think the players are clicking. He didn't actually have Kelly Gargo playing yesterday, but he's figured out a system now that I think really works for them.
A system which is the sister link up.
The amount of sister graphics that went out yesterday, everyone was loving that.
So many. Yeah, that Holmgard squared goal assist was just like, so good.
I think Sara Harrak has quietly been brilliant for Everton this season, and some of the assists she's been putting in. Karen's first start, I think, all season. And to come out, and they nearly got a second, exactly the same in the...
Such a good ball.
It was such a goal. It was great work before that as well from Tony Payne to keep it alive. I mean, I wonder if City were almost during their entire spate of injuries looking at Tony Payne being like, I wonder, could we get you in the summer? It's so difficult for City, isn't it? They've got so many injuries at the minute.
Yeah, it kind of happens to them every couple of seasons.
Yeah,
that they're suddenly knocked out by injuries. I don't know why.
They just have a crash out every so often.
But yeah, thank God they have Carolyn. Was kind of carrying them a bit.
Yeah,
but the person carrying them most.
Yep.
is our fave, our queen, Kirsten Kasparai.
Yeah. For those that didn't see the game, Kasparai scored from quite a messy goal.
Kind of bundled in
a header from Lily Murphy. As she was running away celebrating, she wheeled away and kissed the Trans Pride tape on her wrist, held up a Mary Fowler, her chaotic partner in crime, of Mary Fowler's shirt, because it's been confirmed that she did her ACL in the game against United in the Cup. She then followed it up with a post on Instagram reiterating, in the wake of a really difficult week for the trans community in the UK with the Supreme Court ruling, to see a player who's very high profile in their club and in the women's game in general and has so many followers and fans for her personality as well as her ability, to loudly and proudly stand with the trans community. We need more footballers to do that and more queer footballers to take a stand with other parts of the community. Her. So that draw leaves, as we said, City probably adrift and out of the race for Champions League football. Pretty solidly fourth. They've got a few points on the sort of chasing pack, which is now after Saturday led by Liverpool. It was the little race for fifth place. Thameslink tried its very best to make me miss the game. took me about an hour and a half longer than it should have done to get down there, to the extent that I missed our opening goal. Olivia Smith is being way too rapid and scoring in the second minute. Not a classic of the genre. I don't think it will go down in best WSL matches.
Books.
No. Both teams were fine. Kerry Holland started for Liverpool, which was great.
And that was a great assist for Olivia Smith as well, that diagonal ball.
And a great assist for the second goal as well.
Oh yeah.
2 assists on a return from injury, so that was good to see. I thought that Bernabé, who's one of our loan signings, looked really out of depth on playing in the back line. It was kind of a weird makeshift back line. I think if Brighton had channeled more play through Ajiman, then they would have had a lot more joy. Obviously, she did get Brighton's goal. Fantastic goal. She's the real deal, isn't she?
Definitely.
She's fantastic.
That was another really good assist, actually, from Kiko Seke as well.
Yeah. I think both teams in the last sort of 20 minutes or so really ran out of steam.
Sounds like a fun game to be at.
Yeah, but it was nice to be in Brighton in the sunshine. One thing that really did my head in was Pattinson's defending of Olivia Smith. It was after the Brighton game earlier in the season that Liverpool put in the complaint about the refereeing of Olivia Smith. And to a certain extent, obviously, she's a forward and will go down because they're trying to buy fouls. But watching the way Pattinson was just kicking lumps out of her, that's not how you defend somebody. And she ends up just lunging with a tackle that's got absolutely no intent at getting the ball, takes Olivia Smith out and forces a substitution. Yeah,
that's really unfortunate. Yeah, I think Pattinson can be a bit heavy-handed.
Yeah, that's one way to describe it. Should we round it out with everyone's favourite Spurs versus Villa?
Everyone's favourite matchup, guys.
WSL mid-off, if I've ever seen one.
Yeah, I thought this was going to be an absolute bore fest. And it was, despite there being 5 goals in this game. So dull. Both of these teams are so shit right now.
Yes.
Spurs are on an absolutely terrible run of form. I don't know how long it's been since they've not lost a game.
Have they won a game this calendar year? I'm not sure. There was a really funny stat on comms that said that Spurs have never won a WSL game in April. And they still haven't.
Oh my God, for some reason that actually just makes so much sense.
Yeah. I feel like you could watch it and be like, wow, this is it's an end-to-end game of counterattacks. It's like, no, it's just because both teams keep losing the ball and then they go up the other end and then they lose the ball. And it was helter-skelter pinballing in the worst way. Yeah.
It was classic Villa this season as well, throwing away a 2-goal lead.
Yeah.
And then obviously they were really lucky to get that goal right in the dying moments. That was a brilliant solo goal from Kirsty Hansen.
Fantastic. What a player she is.
What a player. I actually thought of all the Spurs players, Jess Naz had a really good game.
Yeah.
She had a few good shots and then obviously scores Spurs' first goal.
Proper poacher's goal, that one.
Proper scrappy little poacher's goal.
Yeah.
And then the second Spurs goal was an absolutely howling error from D'Angelo
and
again.
She had quite a few of them this game. Oh. I don't really it feels like she doesn't have command of her box a lot of the time and will come out sort of flapping and punching at things, charging out to try and cut that quite speculative ball out.
It was quite painful to watch.
You've got to get it right. And then she almost did it again about 5 minutes later.
Yeah, crazy.
Bizarre.
I felt like she had a good start to the season and then I don't know what's happened, but she's just lost her head a bit.
Martha Thomas must have thought, I'll finally be in with a goal. I'll finally get my first WSL goal of the season. It's mad that she's not scored all season.
Sorry, Martha. Don't forget you play for Spurs. Every week we pick our favourite screamers from across the women's game. I took the win last week with Michelle Agumann's amazing goal for England. And I think it's time for a little scores update.
A little sneaky scores update. So we are Ep 15 and we started this in episode 2. So we've had 13 Screamer of the Week battles. The scores are close. So Maya has won 4.
Okay, respectable.
I have won 4 and you have won 5. Oh. So it is close.
It's a narrow lead, I have to say. I've had some good fortune with some of my picks, but
you've been able to parlay. You had a run of winning 3 in a row, I think, because you managed to pick the goals that we all wanted to pick. But so I guess is that going to continue this week? Who have you gone for?
Well, Maya remotely has stolen the goal that I wanted to pick. So I'm kind of split between 2. I think I'm going to give Victoria Pelova shout out for her goal versus Leicester.
Oh yeah,
that was a good finish.
The weird little
I enjoyed
over the shoulder dink.
Yeah, the weird dinky whatever that was. But I'm going for, I don't know if this is like really screaming, but I just thought that brilliant goal from Kirsty Hansen, match winner. It's not really like she smashes it in the net, but it's just like a great run, 4v1.
Yeah,
and she managed to finish it really well. So big up Kirsty Hansen. You have the most aura this week.
Very good shout. I'm going for, I was torn as to who to go with, but honourable mention for our favourite at Chelsea, Sondy Baltimore, for the goal that maybe promised a comeback against Barcelona. Took it to 2-1 and then obviously all hell broke loose. But it's becoming a trademark now, that left-footed rocket into the opposite corner.
Yeah, that was a great goal.
Absolute, smashed it in.
Sondy.
But I dare not invite the terror of the Couleurs anymore. So I'm actually going to go to the Championship for my Scream of the Week. Jodie Hutton at Charlton Athletic against Newcastle, and receives the ball sort of on the edge of the box, and this brilliant touch to open her hips up and use the Newcastle defender as a sort of a shield, and then just lashes it, and the keeper's not set at all, doesn't see it till too late, and it goes like one of those low, doesn't really rise too much, or right on the inside of the post. It was beautiful.
How satisfying.
And then Maya has, from I think the middle of the channel, sent us a voice note with her Screamer of the Week. So let's tune in to see what Maya says.
Salut from the Brittany Ferry. My Screamer of the Week comes from the NWSL. It's Jay-Z's debut goal in the NWSL, which is a gorgeous volley from a mid-purse cross right into the right-hand corner. It's got a lot of power and it's brilliant. I haven't slept very much. But it's really good. And she does a really great celebration, a gorgeous backflip a la Sam Kerr. But I'm just really happy for her that she's on the pitch. She looks happy. She's free from the shackles of the WSL. So yeah, that's my Screamer of the Week.
That was it exactly. She looks like a woman freed.
Yeah, unleashed. Yeah,
unleashed. She's somewhere she's wanted.
Yeah,
she's playing. Great goal.
That's such a good point. She's somewhere she's wanted, because she never felt like they wanted her at Man United.
That's crazy. She's such an amazing player.
Yeah,
and for her to just be bench warming for a couple of seasons,
ridiculous,
it's absolutely crazy.
I hope it's the start of a beautiful turning into herself for her.
Yeah, I think her playing style as well will suit the NWSL.
Yeah, that kind of more open, fast, transitional play. Definitely. So those are our 3 Screamers of the Week. From Honor, we have
Kirsty Hansen.
From Maya, via the Brittany Ferry, we have Jay-Z. And from me, we have Jodie Hutton of Charlton Athletic. We'll put the clips up on Instagram for you to take a look at, and then you can vote on stories and on Spotify for the ultimate Screamer of the Week.
So last week, me, Jessie and Maya had a really, really great chat with Sara Harrak about her newly premiered short film, Soulless United. So let's take a listen.
This week we have a very special guest, the writer and director of Soulless United, Sara Harrak. It had the world premiere at BFI Flair and just had a USA premiere at Wicked Queer Festival in Boston.
Very exciting.
Welcome to the studio, Sara.
Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm so glad to be here with you guys.
We are so glad you're here, but we do need to get one very important question out of the way first. What football team do you support?
I knew this would be the question.
It's got to be the one.
It's Arsenal, guys.
Yes! Oh, of course.
I'm glad I've got one in here.
God, everyone is just a bloody Arsenal fan these days.
I'm glad that I'm in the majority for once in here.
I love, and me, same. Yeah.
Sorry, you say that like we don't go to Arsenal games with about 10
but you guys just love to hate us.
I don't think that's true. I don't necessarily hate Arsenal, just North London forever.
It's a divisive track in this studio. Just jumping straight to the film.
Yeah.
Loved it so much. Watched it a few times on repeat. But I think actually what really stood out to me the most was how you can tell it's that really authentic love of football, and it's really grounded in that, and it really comes across. So what was your journey into football? Like, was it something you loved as a kid, or did you pick it up as an adult? Or
yeah, hugely. I loved football when I was a kid, and it's so nice to see the reflection of the young kids nowadays and the young girls nowadays, and the diversity that are playing now. And it's so open. Even today I was cycling around and I seen these young girls playing football, and it's just so lovely to see, because I didn't have that when I was younger. And I even had, I'm half Moroccan, and I used to love playing football when I was younger. And I remember going to the shop and always wanting to buy a football. My dad going, no, let's play. And I'm like, no, no. And even it was really sweet. I used to always play with the guys, or the boys, I should say, not guys.
You in a field of men.
Yeah, as a 6-year-old. Sounds about right. So, I always played, and I ended up sort of getting pushed more into netball and started playing netball. But I loved team sports. That was always my thing. And then, life happened, going out, enjoying life, that sort of thing, being young. And then basically I moved to Bali for about 3 years.
Just casually.
Just casual, unintentional. It happened by chance. And whilst I was out there, because obviously, you have a lot of free time out there. And I got back into sports and I started playing football again. And I was like, oh my God, this is what I was missing. I was missing these team sports. And it was like a variety of experience, let's say. It was insane, to be fair. And then I came back to London wanting to make new friends. And of course, I went, let's do a team sport, let's do football. And then through that, I went to Clapton Open Access, which is so brilliant and great ethos. And from that, I then found my team called Bangers FC.
Hey.
That's a great name.
I think we play Bang. I think it was an ex-girlfriend have played Bangers a few times actually recently on our Wednesday night leagues.
Yes, probably. Sounds about right. I'm hoping we won.
Again, that's something that came across. It's like if football teams, they become not just the team, it's not just a sport, but it's like that community and that social life. And was that something you really wanted to get across with Solas?
Hugely. Essentially I wanted to, like I said, with Bangers, I went there. Part of the reason was to also make friends. And I remember the first summer that I joined, it was all encompassing. Like we were playing Wednesdays, Saturdays, going out all weekend. You know what I mean?
Takes over your life.
Yeah,
it really does.
It really can. in a really beautiful way. And I really wanted to reflect, because we were all very different as well. Like I don't know if you find this with your team. It's like everyone's so different, but everyone really gets along so well. And
completely.
That's what's so beautiful about it. And I really wanted to show that, yes, it's about football, but also it's about the community, the acceptance and the belonging within that.
Yeah. I think as well, like these teams, you find amazing community in it. And as well, in football, there's obviously loads of like kind of tricky queer relationship, friendship, navigation that goes on. Yes. And that's obviously a massive
I love how we're all laughing. Oh, we know that.
everyone's been there in some way. That's obviously a massive part of the film as well. So how did you find navigating that in the film? Was that an important part of this team for you?
Yeah, so it's really funny. I've been doing a lot of PR for this film, obviously, and I showed the trailer at the Baller FC, actually. They're brilliant.
Oh, cool.
And someone came up to me and said, so wait, can I just check? There is a queer relationship in this, right?
We need it to be authentic.
Yeah, exactly. And I was like, of course. I couldn't do it any other way. And it was like, previously, obviously, everyone's laughing about sort of relationships and stuff within the football team. It does happen. So it's like, and it is complicated because they are friends and you don't want to ruin the relationship, because you don't want to ruin your friendship because the team means so much to you. And obviously in the film, you can see how it could go wrong, basically. So it was important to me. And it's, again, I think everything that I was trying to show in the film was based on reality as much as possible. Obviously, we have a lot of humour and comedy in it, but I wanted to make it as authentic as possible. And I think from what everyone says to me, everyone really wants to see the queer relationships in this female football.
People have been burned before by Bend It Like Beckham, so we need that actual queer representation.
Exactly. It's like, guys, this is not the story. We want to see some loving or failure in loving sometimes.
I think people are going to be calling you for a part 2, definitely. I mean, because we don't want to spoil the ending. We don't want to spoil what happens. happens, but the moment, the sort of, I said a declaration scene at the end, it felt very much like peak British rom-com, like the timing's wrong, but I've got to blurt it out, I've got to do it. Did you really want to tap into that kind of rom-com style there?
So the reason with that particular ending, I had written the ending several different ways with my amazing co-writers, and my goal for this is not just the short film. It's a TV series potentially, or a feature film, which we're kind of, working out what's. I love that you're excited.
The excitement across on his face.
So that was the future. So I wanted to keep it fairly open, and that was the reason why I picked that particular ending.
I love that. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, because I was going to ask.
Go on.
What's next?
So in terms of the film, obviously we're doing a lot of film festivals, a film festival run. We also are currently speaking to production companies about making it as a TV series. If for whatever reason that doesn't work out, there's always the backup of the feature film. I mean, in my ideal eyes, we would have TV series, feature film, and a musical. Do you know what I mean?
I'm with you.
You just want to become an EGOT winner. That's what you're after.
And then like the film, feature film, part 2, sequel,
Keep it going.
trilogy.
official companion podcast. Like, that's what we can do.
Well, maybe the cast come to the podcast. I don't know. Maybe write in an episode where they come here. Who knows?
mean, I think we should just get this on script right now and have this locked down somehow.
Like Gary Lineker and Bend It Like Beckham.
Yeah.
Oh my God, yes.
I mean, that would be. How was the? So yeah, it's during the film festival run. How was it at the premiere at BFI Flair?
It was amazing. Honestly, it's been such a journey with this film, even beforehand. And my goal was always BFI Flair. Like, it's London based, it's queer. Let's get it there. And the audience reaction, like I was in the audience as well, and it was just laughed. Like, people were really laughing, and I was like,
yeah.
A, this is what everyone needs right now. Do you know what I mean? We all need to be laughing. And yeah, B, for me as a director, it was like, okay, cool, this hit. You know what I mean? And it's very reassuring, which we all need as artists.
Do you get nervous? I mean, Maya, you probably have a similar thing, don't you? Do you get nervous the first time something that you've worked privately to an extent on gets shared with the world for the first time? Like, I can't imagine what those nerves are like in the room.
Honest answer, yes, you're shitting pants. Absolutely, because like we had only had an industry screening, which went very well previously, and so this was the first time it was to a queer audience, which is what this film is for and made for, as well as sort of other people as well. So yeah, it was extremely nerve-wracking, and it is every film I've done, I've always been like, shit, is this going to land?
Who knows?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but it is so funny. I love the humour in it. I actually watched it with my mum, and we were both cracking up.
Well, that's good that it reaches for your mum as well.
Yeah, exactly. All audiences.
All ages.
Obviously, it's really funny as well, and we have the sort of romantic threads going through it. But then, obviously, central to the plot is the stuff about pitch access, and that is something that all of us especially the women's grassroots community, are coming up against, like, week in, week out. Was that something you really wanted to kind of represent in the film?
Yeah, of course. I mean, this has come up a lot actually generally when I've been doing a lot of PR with people, and we put it in as. Also, I should say, sorry, about the pitch stuff as well. This is all based in Stratford, right? That's the idea. It's a very East London film, and there's an area in East London where it's like it's really interesting because you've got the old area, like the old Stratford, which when I was younger, used to go there and used to go to like car boot sales. It was like grassland. It was insane. So it's insane to see how much it's changed, which is good and bad. And there's a lot of gentrification. So, and where we were shooting, it's like this less gentrified, let's say, area. And and it's really beautiful to see, well, I say beautiful, but interesting to see all these new builds with these older buildings, which I'm obsessed by old buildings. I don't know why. And it was also just about gentrification. So the idea was also the pitch was going to get sort of developed. And it was a bit of a reflection of that as well, because I wanted to kind of highlight what is lost and its community, and it's consistently communities are being sort of chopped up and broken away, which is, I think, what we are lacking in London in particular. So yes, there is that reflection of the reality of women sort of getting sidelined all the time, but it's also a reflection of gentrification and what that does to let's say, minority groups or however you want to say it.
Yeah. There was a really, I can't remember the artist group behind it, but there was something recently on a similar vein where they were protesting against the amount of no ball games and signs like stopping kids from being able to play football in the street. And it's always when you get these new developments pop up and then all of a sudden these signs appear and stopping kids, stopping loitering, stopping football. Yeah. And it just shuts down so many places for people to find like friends and community, and kicking a ball about in the street with your mates is such like a foundational part. And so much of London life now is about, it feels like, tamping down on that in a really unfortunate way.
Yeah, I mean, it's all about, sadly, it's all about sort of this idea of secular living and stuff like that. But as we all know and as we all crave, and that's why these communities, football communities, are so important to people. And I've experienced it in my own team. And it's so important to have that. And who doesn't like loitering? I mean, come on. I do it every Saturday.
Honestly, what else is there to do?
Exactly.
Like big hobby when I was a teenager, to loiter.
I was great at it.
And were any of the characters based on your teammates?
Let's say it's inspired.
Oh,
I think that's.
Do you think they would recognise themselves? Have they watched it?
They have. So yes, a few of them have. They came to BFI Flair, and I was actually very nervous for them to come, because obviously, you know, it is a film about football and stuff and grassroots football, and you wanted them to like it and to be like, guys, this is,
and sort of drawing on your collective experience.
Yeah, of course, yeah, and they absolutely loved it, which was great. Yeah, it was really, really lovely, and they're very proud, very proud.
Did you involve them in? Was there a training regime for the cast, or were any of them coming to it with football experience, or did bangers become the coaches behind the scenes?
Okay, so the story with the actors in football, they're amazing actors. Let's start with that. And then let's go with the second thing of, so no, they had never played. You know, it's a classic thing with actors. I don't know if you guys know this, but generally speaking, when you say, oh, can you sort of ride a horse, or can you speak 20 languages? The answer is always yes. The reality is no. However, what they're very good at is, you know, picking up quickly. So because they had never been in a team, I really wanted them to understand what it meant to be in a team and what that whole, you know, working together. And it was really good for them to understand that. So when they get on the pitch and when they're in these scenarios where they're in the changing rooms and stuff, they understand that they're all going for one goal. So I had arranged a training session for them with actually someone from Clapton Open Access, and she was brilliant, and they really, I know it was amazing. They gelled together so well, and they're like still friends now. Like, we've all got a WhatsApp group. We're always like chatting away, and it's like they really got the idea of working as a team. Like even on the pitch when to explain, I don't even know how to say this, but basically I had to, luckily I have a very good editor, is what I'm going to say. And there was a lot of cuts, and because we also had sort of a foot double, as it were, on some of the shots, but they were great, you know, and it really meant a lot to them for it to look as real as possible, because I knew as well with Bend It Like Beckham, I think what everyone always says is like, the football's a bit naff. Yeah. And so
same with Ted Lasso.
Yeah.
And I love Ted Lasso.
Yeah. So it's kind of, and again, like, you know, if I had a bigger budget and more time and all of these things, I would have done so much more. And, you know, but again, it's a short film. That's the reality of it. So yes, it was challenging, but I hopefully just got through it.
No, I think it never stood out that like, oh, these people haven't played football before. I think it came across really well.
Yeah, that's good.
And you should see some of the things that I do on a football pitch every weekend. Exactly. And I've been playing my entire life. So.
Can I also ask where the team name came from?
It's a really good question. So beginning of last year, I got funded to make a teaser of the short film through M&M's, the football brand, a chocolate brand, not football, the chocolate brand M&M's. And so, they funded me some money. And because they're such a huge company, there was a lot of situations with regards to the name. And literally every name, I could have said lamppost football, and they went, no, there's already a lamppost football. And I'm like, oh, God's sake. So like we had all these names, and one of them was like Techers United. And And they kept going back to us no. So then they said, look, let's look at names in Latin. And we were like, right.
That's often where you go to for a football name.
Exactly. So I was like, okay, cool. Anyway, and then so the night before, so they had to clear it through the not HR, I don't know, some whatever.
Every department.
Yeah, every department. It was quite a thing. And we ended up basically Solas United. So Solas means techers in Latin. So that is where we got to Solas.
Sorry,
That's
why do
so
they
good.
Because in Latin.
That was,
God.
yeah. So there you go,
told
guys.
you that?
That feels like quite a loose interpretation of a translation.
Listen, guys, that's where we're going with.
Oh, okay, right.
My
Sorry.
theory was wrong then.
What was your theory?
Well, I was like Solas. I just thought it was like losers switched around.
Oh, no, it's on the anagrams.
I love
I was
that.
on the anagrams.
I
was
love
like,
that.
I'm sure. Anyway, but I love that story.
I'm going to take that for the TV series. That's what I'm going to do.
I find that sometimes with when you're watching fictional sports teams, the names just don't sound believable, whereas that felt like it could be a team name, like it
that's
genuinely
fair.
could be somebody you come up against in a tournament, couldn't it?
Yeah.
Definitely.
Well, there are brilliant, like even your like ex-girlfriend. Do you know what I mean? Like there's just brilliant, genius.
I feel like one time we'll have to expand upon the reasoning
Yeah.
behind that name on the podcast, but not today.
But for now, we'll leave
For now.
everyone guessing.
So if you could have cast any of any professional football player in the team, who would you have brought in?
Good question. Oh, I think Jill Scott.
Oh yeah,
That's
I'll
just
be
so
honest,
funny.
she's hilarious. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? It'll be easy comedy. I'll be sitting
Yeah.
back and she'll just be so funny.
Should bring the laughs.
Yeah, exactly. So I'd probably say her.
yeah, that's so good.
That's a great shout.
Yeah, I love seeing Susie Ruffle pop up as a sort of
Yeah.
She did.
casual commentator
Yes,
as well.
yes, brilliant. Her and Laura Checkley are so. Again, I pretty much, and I said this to them guys. I was like, I'm just going to sit and watch and let you know this is the rough boundary of where I want you to go. But yeah, brilliant. She's brilliant. I was very lucky to have them. Actually,
Yeah.
really great.
I feel like there was probably a lot of B-roll that you could just sort of release as of
We
them.
have.
Oh,
We have. We've got a lot of B-roll and a lot of BTS, which will be coming out on our socials. So yes, stay
Nice.
tuned.
Okay, we'll be keeping an eye out for that.
Yes.
Definitely.
So when can people watch the film?
So we have a screening on the 10th of May with Cine International Film Festival. Yes, so it's 10th of May. So yeah, please go and buy your tickets online.
Where is that in London?
Yes, that is in Soho.
Were there any amazing screamers on set?
It was dire.
The actors were not up to it.
You have to. I'll give you an example. I'm going to really explain the situation here. Bless one of my actors. She was meant to be she's meant to be a striker. That's her role. She comes in and she's like, right, guys, I've come from a different league, going down a league. But I'm going to teach you how to play football and sort everything out. Bless her. I think the pressure of everything and also the lack of time that we had, the sun was going down, the usual stuff. And we had to really sort of, I think we did it about 20 times to get the football. She was literally, I need to explain. So literally she would try and score and somehow being so close, she got it over and around, but never anywhere in. And it was, bless her, she tried very hard. So no
screamers on set.
screamers. But if you look at the film, there's loads.
Yeah. Thanks to the foot doubles.
Exactly, yeah.
I think that's probably all we've got time for.
Yeah.
But thank you so much for coming in
Not at
and
all. It's
chatting
been a
with
pleasure,
us.
guys.
And we'll post all the details of where you can buy tickets to see the film in full. Because
Definitely get down to see it.
definitely get out and see it. It's so fun. It's like a perfect encapsulation of the community and of women's football and everything that's great about it. So please go and watch it, everybody.
And good luck.
you.
We hope we get the series and the feature and the musical.
And the sequel.
Love that. Love that. Thank you, guys. Let's keep that energy up.
Oh no, I don't know about you. I think it's time to check in on the Woso Community Noticeboard,
I think so too. My favourite time of the week.
where we get to round up the weird, the wacky, the serious, the breaking news from across the women's game. What have you got to add onto it this week, Honor?
I saw something really cute,
Okay.
which was North Carolina Courage
yeah.
walking out for their game,
Yeah.
each holding a puppy.
Oh,
I don't know why they did it. I don't know where these puppies came from. I don't know any of the context, but it was so cute.
was it? Because sometimes I think they do that as like adoption drives.
Yeah,
don't
I
they?
think so. That was my guess, but I didn't see anything about like adopt a dog.
Yeah.
So I just was like, this is nice.
Oh, they've just rounded up some dogs. And I also saw a canine NWSL in the Orlando Pride Washington Spirit halftime entertainment. Was a man balancing on his hand on a pole, spinning around with a chihuahua or some kind of tiny dog.
I think it was a chihuahua.
On his back, sort of dancing. Baffling.
What a week for dogs in the NWSL.
Need to bring that over here. Imagine that with the Spurs beatboxers. Just
oh my God. Yeah,
so
what a combination that would be.
On a more serious note, and if you've seen the stuff about Hull City ladies, that's sort of been rumbling on in the last week.
This is absolutely crazy.
It's terrible. So it broke or first appeared on people's feeds after our episode last week with a number of players from Hull City Ladies who, despite the name, are not affiliated with Hull City, the men's team. An independent club owned by 2 directors, one of whom several players from Hull City are alleging has effectively been siphoning off funds from the club. There's a couple of people have made complaints to the FA. Apparently there's a £200,000 unexplained hole in the accounts.
That's crazy.
Money gone. And among other things, the players, so Hope Knight was one of the players who put a big statement out on Twitter, has said there is no strength and conditioning coach at Hull City. So they've had 8 ACL injuries in the past 18 months. This is all while the players don't have medical insurance at Hull City. They're in the Northern Premier Division. So a lot of those players will be working full-time jobs or part-time jobs on top of playing football and then also managing a potentially long-term injury. And the sort of latest development is that apparently the director and CEO of Hull City Ladies has requested that they be relegated from the 3rd tier, which now players are assuming is sort of retaliation and retaliatory. It's really awful for all of the players involved. It's such a horrible situation, and to have to still be focusing on playing amongst that.
I really feel for them.
So yeah, solidarity with all the Hull City Ladies players out there, because that's a shit situation. Anything else you want to put on the notice board?
I don't know about news, but I have seen some funny tweets, and I feel like we haven't had any funny tweets for a while. So maybe
Honor's dip on the internet.
Maybe I'll read out a few. There are a few kind of Chelsea-Barcelona related ones. Sachira Musovic travelled with Chelsea to Barcelona to sit on the bench, even though she's unable to play as she's pregnant. And someone was like, "Why is he there? God forbid a pregnant woman wants a holiday in sunny Barcelona."
I mean, fair. It's probably so that they can, Todd Bowley can funnel some money through Chelsea. Maybe like, look, it's the travel cost, and that's why the club's valued at this much money. Well, I don't know.
You might be onto something there. Who knows?
Who knows? Do we know when Musovic's due date is? Because I feel like Chelsea have got a WSL game, don't they, ahead of the next the second leg of the semis, and it's going to be like all of the academy players. Basel will probably play.
You know what I did think was funny actually, when Hampton looked to be injured in that game, and the camera panned to Katie Cox, who is obviously like, you know, she's a young academy inexperienced player, and she just looked terrified.
Absolutely terrified.
That would be such an awful situation to be stepping into that
thrown in against that Barcelona forward line. Bloody hell, yeah, that would be character building in the worst way. Any more funny tweets for the roundup?
Well, there was loads of the assister ones. I like that Fantasy WSL said after the goal and assist from the home guard sisters, one like, and we'll introduce sister assist points next season.
I have one more thing to add on. Friend of the pod, Master Grader, who looks after all of our beautiful video footage, Stace has requested that if anybody wants to do any sticker swaps for the official WSL Panini sticker album, we should organise some kind of Screamers sticker swap, because I know they have a lot of repeats, to the extent that they had a packet recently with 3 Laura Blinkilda Browns, which
no one needs 3
Blinkilda
Browns.
Sorry, 3 Blinkilda Browns. So if you are listening out in there in the wider world, and you have a bunch of stickers you'd love to swap, DM us and we will hook some kind of thing up.
That's all we've got time for on Screamers this week, but come back next week where we'll be seeing who's made it through to the Champions League final. Is it going to be Chelsea? As well as catching up on the latest WSL action. But until then,
follow us on Instagram, on TikTok, all the socials are at @Screamers_pod. Come and add to the deluge of comments telling us we're wrong about football. Or you can email us at screamerspod@gmail.com, and then follow us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever it is you're listening from, to be the first to know when new episodes drop. And if you can, please do rate and review so new people can find us. Bye.
Bye bye.